Stop being nice. It's a phrase we don't often hear, but it's one that I believe needs to be said more often. Niceness has become this badge that many people wear, believing that it's the key to success, to getting ahead, to liked and loved. But in reality, being nice can often be a form of self-sabotage, a shield that prevents you from living authentically and achieving the success you deserve. Niceness is often misunderstood as a virtue, something that can open doors and create opportunities. People are taught from a young age to be nice, to smile, to be polite, to avoid causing trouble or stepping on anyone's toes. It's a cultural norm, an expectation that if you're nice, people will like you, they'll appreciate you, and in turn, you'll be successful. But in reality, niceness can be a huge barrier to personal and professional growth. Being nice can often be a form of avoidance. We've all been in situations where we don't want to upset anyone or rock the boat, so we go along with things even when we don't agree or feel uncomfortable. We avoid speaking up for fear of offending someone or causing a disagreement. However, this kind of avoidance can lead to resentment, missed opportunities, and a lack of fulfillment. Instead of addressing the situation directly, we suppress our true feelings, which only leads to internal conflict and dissatisfaction. Moreover, when we prioritize being nice over being honest or assertive, we compromise our own needs and desires. We suppress our opinions, our ambitions, and our boundaries just to fit into what others expect of us. It's not about being rude or inconsiderate, it's about recognizing that our own well-being and growth must come first. Constantly pleasing others may provide temporary comfort, but in the long run, it holds us back from achieving our goals and living authentically. By choosing niceness over authenticity, we give up control over our lives. We allow others' opinions and desires to dictate our actions, and in doing so, we lose sight of who we really are and what we truly want. Niceness and assertiveness are two traits that often get confused, but they are fundamentally different in how they shape our interactions and impact our lives. Being nice is often about keeping the peace, avoiding conflict, and ensuring that everyone else feels comfortable. While these are admirable intentions, they come at a cost. Niceness frequently leads to an inability to assert one's own needs and desires. People who are overly nice might avoid confrontation at all costs, even if it means sacrificing their own goals, values, or well-being. For example, they may agree to tasks or commitments they don't want to do simply because they fear saying no or disappointing others. This may seem like the polite thing to do, but in reality, it's often a disservice to oneself. By continually putting others' needs first, people who are overly nice end up neglecting their own growth, satisfaction, and success. Assertiveness, on the other hand, is about standing firm in your beliefs and communicating your needs clearly and confidently. It doesn't mean being rude or inconsiderate, but rather being true to yourself and respecting both your own boundaries and the boundaries of others. Assertive individuals can express their opinions, make decisions, and they understand that their voice matters and that it's okay to disagree or not go along with the crowd. Assertiveness leads to stronger relationships as it fosters respect and clarity rather than confusion or resentment. It's not about being harsh, it's about being clear and direct. By embracing assertiveness, we take control of our lives, make empowered choices, and ultimately feel more fulfilled and authentic. Over niceness can have profound negative consequences on both personal and professional growth. When you prioritize being nice above all else, you often end up overextending yourself to others, agreeing to commitments you don't want, and taking on responsibilities that drain your energy. This tendency to people please might stem from a desire to be liked or accepted, but it can result in feelings of burnout, resentment, and frustration. The more you say yes to things you don't want to do, the more your own needs and desires get pushed aside. This leads to a vicious cycle where your well-being is neglected and your sense of self-worth becomes tied to others' approval rather than your own intrinsic value. This overextension is particularly harmful in professional environments. The desire to be liked by co-workers or superiors can make you hesitate to speak up, challenge ideas, or assert your own contributions. You might find yourself doing extra work to gain recognition or avoid conflict, but instead of building respect and recognition, this can create an imbalance where others take advantage of your willingness to please. Over time, this can damage your confidence and hold you back from advancing in your career. You might feel trapped in roles or tasks that don't align with your aspirations simply because you couldn't say no or stand firm in your needs. The discomfort of being over nice also extends to personal relationships. By consistently prioritizing the happiness and needs of others over your own, you risk creating unhealthy dynamics where your voice is never truly heard. People may take advantage of your niceness, and you may begin to feel disconnected or even resentful. This imbalance weakens the foundation of trust and respect in relationships, and ultimately it prevents the development of genuine connections based on mutual understanding and care. Embracing the discomfort of honesty is one of the most powerful steps toward personal growth and success. In a world where people often choose comfort over confrontation, learning to say what you really think and feel can be a game changer. Too often, people avoid honesty because they fear the consequences of upsetting someone or being judged. And whether it's telling a colleague that you disagree with their approach or telling a friend that their actions have hurt you, the discomfort of honesty is real. However, this discomfort is where growth happens. When you choose to speak the truth, even when it's uncomfortable, you show respect for both yourself and others. By being honest, you demonstrate that you value yourself enough to express your thoughts and emotions authentically. You stop hiding behind a mask of niceness and start showing up as your true self. This may be tough at first, as it involves confronting difficult emotions, both in yourself and in others. However, over time, you build resilience and emotional strength. You start to see that the short-term discomfort of being honest often leads to long-term benefits, like stronger relationships, deeper connections, and personal fulfillment. Honesty also enables you to set clearer boundaries. When you are upfront about what you need, you prevent situations where you might be overextended or taken advantage of. It's easy to avoid confrontation or be overly agreeable, but this only leads to feelings of frustration and burnout. Learning to say no when necessary, to express dissatisfaction when warranted, and to share your true desires is essential for protecting your mental health and ensuring that your actions align with your values. The discomfort of honesty is a small price to pay for the freedom it brings. It empowers you to live authentically, make better decisions, and create relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. Niceness often leads to a pattern where individuals avoid conflict and suppress their own needs and desires to maintain peace and harmony in their relationships. This avoidance tactic may seem harmless at first, but over time it can have detrimental effects on both personal and professional life. When someone prioritizes being nice, they often put the comfort of others above their own well-being, avoiding situations that might lead to confrontation or discomfort. This may lead to an accumulation of unspoken frustrations, unmet needs, and unaddressed problems. By consistently avoiding conflict, they deny themselves the opportunity to express their true feelings and opinions, which eventually undermines their authenticity and sense of self. In personal relationships, avoiding conflict through excessive niceness can lead to resentment and a breakdown in communication. When you constantly go along with others' wishes or suppress your own emotions to avoid disagreements, you unintentionally create a power imbalance. Over time, people may begin to take advantage of your reluctance to speak up, assuming that you will always comply. This can create a dynamic where your voice is silenced and your needs go unnoticed. You may begin to feel more like a passive participant in your own relationships rather than an active, engaged individual. This is not to say that conflict should be sought out, but healthy, respectful disagreement and communication are crucial in fostering genuine connection. In the professional realm, the consequences of avoiding conflict and always being agreeable can be even more significant. In work environments where people are unwilling to express disagreement or push back against poor decisions, teams can suffer from a lack of innovation and problem solving. Being too nice often means sacrificing the opportunity to speak up, challenge ineffective strategies, or provide critical feedback. This can result in stagnation, missed opportunities, and a lack of progress. Furthermore, individuals who avoid confrontation may end up taking on more work than they can handle, leading to burnout and feelings of resentment toward colleagues or superiors. The consequences of overniceness can be both subtle and significant, often taking a toll on one's mental and emotional well-being. Being excessively nice may give the appearance of being accommodating and pleasant, but beneath the surface, it can lead to burnout, frustration, and a loss of identity. When a person is constantly trying to please others, they are effectively ignoring their own needs, desires, and boundaries. They may feel obligated to say yes to every request, even when it's not in their best interest. Over time, this behavior erodes personal satisfaction and fosters feelings of resentment. You might find yourself doing things you don't want to do, sacrificing your time and energy for others, all while feeling undervalued or unnoticed. In the workplace, this pattern of over-niceness can have even more pronounced consequences. People who are overly nice may struggle to assert themselves, taking on extra tasks or responsibilities simply to maintain a harmonious environment. This might stem from the fear of being seen as uncooperative or difficult, but it often leads to unnecessary stress. The refusal to set clear boundaries or speak up when something is not right can result in missed opportunities for growth and even burnout. Moreover, colleagues and supervisors may come to rely on an individual's willingness to please, further perpetuating the cycle of overcommitment and neglect of one's own needs. On a personal level, over-niceness can damage relationships too. It can create an imbalance where one person constantly gives but never receives. While relationships are built on mutual respect and understanding, over-niceness often skews this dynamic. When someone is always putting others first, they might feel unappreciated or even taken for granted. Furthermore, the avoidance of confrontation or expressing negative emotions can lead to unresolved issues, which may fester and cause tension. Instead of fostering healthy and honest communication, over-niceness can prevent open and constructive conversations that could lead to deeper connections and more fulfilling relationships.